Facebook's new Messenger app isn't exactly going over well with Facebook's mobile users. It's been around for a while, but last week Facebook informed users they must download the app to continue getting messages on their iPhones and Android devices. Lance Ulanoff joins me now. He's Mashable's chief correspondent and editor at large. Lance, you know, I actually have this Messenger app, and I use it pretty often. So what is the big deal?
So, especially on the Android side, when you install a new Android app, all of the permissions are listed at once. And this kind of freaked people out because it told you all the ways that Messenger might use the functions of your phone. If you install Facebook Messenger on an iPhone, you get those permissions sort of one at a time as you access things. So people threw people into kind of a panic. You know, what's interesting about this is because everybody's being forced to do this, and by the way, I'm no fan of being forced to use a new app. I liked it when it was part of Facebook. But because that's happening to so many people at once, they're all seeing these permissions, sometimes for the first time, and they're kind of freaking out. But the reality is, this app won't work if it doesn't do these things.
Yeah, but Lance, I mean, so are you saying that they shouldn't even put that disclaimer up there? You know, I mean, so if they don't put the disclaimer up there, then there are going to be lawsuits out there. But ultimately, they have to put that disclaimer up there so people recognize, you know, what privacy they're giving away by signing up for the app, right?
Well, yes, they do have to put the permissions up there. By the way, Facebook doesn't even write these permissions. Android writes the permissions. I don't know why that is, but that's how Android works. But yeah, they have to do that because otherwise people wouldn't realize what they're doing. But this isn't the same as the terms of service, which are the legally binding document that's sort of kind of how you interact with Facebook. It is about privacy per se, but it's really more about usability. You know, for example, Facebook Messenger lets you make phone calls basically through data, lets you talk to people who are on your contact list, whether or not they're in Facebook Messenger. To do that, it needs to access some stuff. It needs to access your contacts. It needs to, you know, pull those things together into Facebook Messenger. But that's really no different than any other app that might allow you to kind of make phone calls through the data.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. That's what I feel like is so interesting about the situation is that everything I sign up for accesses things on my phone. So ultimately, it's basically doing the exact same thing, but it's telling you beforehand. Lance, thank you so much for joining us and adding a little color. But I also imagine that this is probably going to take off like everything else does with Facebook, don't you think?
Oh, yeah. I mean, absolutely. Facebook is sort of swatting flies. You know, there's been some articles that have really misled people. I mean, if you understand anything about the way the app works and you understand about how you use Facebook and you enjoy Messenger, you're going to start to realize, oh, each one of these permissions is so I can do something with this app.
Thanks, Lance. Thank you so much for joining us.